Hello, everyone. Thank you for listening in. This is Answers from the Universe, and this is a new format that we've done with Jimi from Detroit. Typically, we do private sessions, and Jimi and I have discussions about different things that had opened up to the Detroit's issue with androids that Peter the Insider has mentioned. So, moving forward, this is going to be the new format. And, it goes all over the place, particularly because Jimi is connected to the Agarthans, and you can see that he has many types of entanglements and unexplained in paranormal events that have occurred. So thank you for your support. We appreciate you. Thanks for those that support us on Patreon, those who are our subscribers, and we will continue to provide information. We also have a Teespring store with, just other things that maybe people can, purchase a cup, or they can purchase a T-shirt or something. And we don't make a whole lot of money off of that, but it's just, mostly so people can have some things to hold on to, maybe having the highest intention for your humanity and things of that nature. So thank you for listening in. Maybe grab your cup of Timmy's coffee, and here goes.
About if the work done in this area with pulling those ships out and finding an android and having an ongoing conversation and bringing in. You didn't say anything about Nim to Peter.
I did a while back, and of course he didn't say anything. I mentioned it. I think it was on one of the interviews that I did with him, and I said someone called himself Nim.
I didn't. I must have missed that. But
yeah, did you listen to all the interviews that I've done with him?
I thought I did, but I might have walked out of the room for a second. But
yeah, because I know that we mentioned it in passing at one point, and
that was a big part of the story, is that this is the guy that's handling him. So
well, then Nim disappeared. He disappeared after I talked to Peter about it. So
remember
I don't know huh?
Remember he said he was 40 houses away from me?
Yeah.
I mean, that freaked me out a little bit, but
well, he meant like distance-wise.
Yeah, well, that's like a mile.
Mm-hmm.
That's not far. So that it kind of made me feel like they're surveilling me or something.
Yeah.
And they probably are.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I just started recently watching this show that on TV that is very relevant to what we talk about, and I was just wondering if you watch it. Yeah, I would think you have it. You probably like it too. It's called Supernatural.
Yeah, I've heard about it.
And man, they get into Archangel Michael and the angels and demons and all kinds of stuff, and I just find it so much more interesting than I did before. I watched it before a few times, but now it comes on like sometimes 3, 4, or 5 hours in the morning into the afternoon every weekday. So I've been watching it, and I'm wondering, is that something I should avoid, or because I might be paying attention to something that I shouldn't be watching. That's affecting my energy or something.
Yeah, does it feel like it's affecting your energy in a negative way?
Well, when I see just about every time Archangel Michael comes up, I kind of it's made me feel like everybody that's ever hurt me or fucked me over in my life, I've forgiven and tried to not carry that around with me and stuff, but it seems like he just keeps coming up.
Just keep breaking all ties, vows, contracts in all time, space, reality. Just keep shutting him off.
Okay, well, I do. And like I said, I stopped the meditation because of him bringing him up. It's just, is there any way to know what what the deal is with him? Is he really the devil or what?
He's not the devil. It's just that if he was over you in some level, and he wanted to be in control of you, and he was in control of you one time, but his consciousness is not in the right place. Now you want to break away from him, but yet he's not letting go. That's essentially what it is.
So he's in charge of all.
Maybe he at one point he was in charge of the angels, but he's not doing the right thing. So why should we listen to him?
So why does he get to keep being in charge of us?
He isn't. Only if you go along with it.
Oh, okay. Well, what about you?
It's the same thing.
When did you come to this realization and break away? And he's
a couple years ago.
He reluctantly is letting go of you too, right?
I kept on finding one. I was working with, and he helped me he's like, well, that looks like something that maybe Michael did that to you. And I checked, and I'm like, wow, yeah, he did, as a matter of fact. And then we talk a little bit more, and then I'd say, well, this incident happened, and I brought up like a couple of different incidents. He goes, that sounds like, do you think Michael did that? And I check, and I'm like, yeah, he did. And I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. So it was like a series of things that and he, for some reason, could see it according to behavior and trends, and type of things over and over and over again through different people. In some ways, we're all of us have our blind spot, and so yeah, he was able to kind of see through it. He thinks he is in charge of us. We're all his minions or something, and I don't know where he got that idea. But even if he was over us, he was supposed to treat us with kindness and respect, and then that obviously never happened.
So did he turn at one point or something into what he is now, or he was benevolent at one time, I would think, or is he one of the fallen angels that we hear about?
The fallen angels were, kind of fallen earlier in time.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think when he had so much power and then no one else was watching, and maybe he made a different choice. And, he felt like he could do whatever he wanted. So and that's what he did. And, people, some of the angels fell for what I think is less than some of the stuff he's done. But there was no one there to really watch it because he was, pretty much in control of everything.
Well, just do a check on me and see if there's anything going on concerning him, or maybe one of his minions, or I don't know how he works, but I was looking through my notes before I talked to you, and he had like webs around my ankles, and I don't know, some kind of energy block or something. And it's just that I want to check to see if there is, because his name keeps coming up, and the research I do, some of the people on there channel him, and I do read the posts. I'm not saying I accept them or anything, but I want to see what he's saying. And supposedly he's always benevolent and cares about us and calls this one he's channeling with dear one and all this stuff. And, so, and also I've heard that there's like a whole bunch of him. Not just one, but a whole bunch.
Well, let me take a look and see what influence he has over you now.
Okay, thank you.
I just caught a program.
What? What do you mean?
Like an AI program.
What do you mean you caught it?
They were trying to hide it.
Oh. Where was it?
It was around you.
And what was the purpose of it?
I don't know.
Had something to do with Michael?
Well, I was asking about Michael.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I don't like having problems with anyone, though, Jess. And, this is something that it's affecting a lot of us. And all
right, so it's not Michael, but it's something that's playing on the Michael thing. So maybe Michael's there somewhere, but I don't think Michael put this here.
Maybe it's one of the fake Michaels, because supposedly he pops up all the time, so I have to think there's more than one of him. Like he channels through a lot of people and stuff, or at least they say he does.
But maybe that's an AI program.
Right, right. Yeah, I'm surprised I wrote AAM the other day because I didn't want to write his name, and you didn't even know what it was. That's just short for him, you know.
Yeah.
I don't like writing his name down, so.
They're pulling something out. Looks like wires.
Out of me?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was around you.
So it was put here for me because I'm the only one here, so it has to be.
It could be that whoever was in that group wanted to see more or hear more of Michael, and then there was some AI was associated with it.
Hmm. Any beings or anything, or you know how I asked you before on the last reading if anyone was standing behind me. I had no idea. I don't know why.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There was something. Just hang on. Let me get a hold of this.
All right, go ahead.
It's like a tower.
Hmm. Like maybe a cell tower or something? Or?
I don't know. I don't think it's even in this dimension.
Oh, it's with me. So yeah, okay.
It's not with you. It's affected you.
Right, but it's here to do that. And is it targeted to me or maybe more than just me?
It might have been that someone was projecting it out.
Oh.
And then they were picking it up and then feeling he needed to talk about it more.
Yeah, because he does cite, Raphael's emerald green ray of healing, and I have no problem with that. I do too, but then he started bringing up who AAM. We'll just call him AAM or something.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way we can communicate with him and figure out what the hell is going on and fix this?
Michael, I don't even know where he is right now. It seems like someone else is driving his program.
Yeah, an AI.
Yeah, well, but I mean, obviously he planted it in there somewhere, but then they wanted to perpetuate it. It's almost like they do this with certain people and beings, and they have this other agenda that they're trying to uphold.
The Antichrist.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different ones. Yeah, it's very strange.
The Christians and
Mm-hmm.
from what I can see, the Christians don't even pray to God; they pray to Satan or Lucifer or something.
Well, I mean, they don't know that,
No, they don't know it, but that's what they're doing. From what I can see, the churches are into, especially the Catholics.
Yeah.
And they all start. That's where the first church was the Catholics, and they all sprung from there. So, and they basically use the same Bible and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
I'm much more inclined to look at the Hindu religion. And
Yeah, I mean, it makes more, and even still, I'm not really a strong advocate of any religion.
I'm not either.
Really.
But I'm more inclined to that one, and dealing
Yeah.
with Shiva also is. Do we have any other guides from that group, or is Shiva the only one?
She was the one that I connect to.
But
regarding
other ones, Brahma and all those too.
Yeah, it's all pretty much the same. Vishnu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
who pulled that off me? Was it you or your
they
guy?
had to shut it down. It was like a tower of AI.
Oh.
And promoting Michael, even though Michael's not really even there.
I don't know whether
it's kind of like they do this with Mary Magdalene. They do this stuff with Jesus. They create all these additional, constructs that are not related. But I don't know if it's a game or what it is.
Well, the whole story of Jesus in the Bible is bullshit. So. I mean, I'm not saying that he wasn't good. I'm just saying that he didn't come here for what they said he came here for. To save us from sin and all this stuff. That is
Yeah.
that is that the way you understand it? Because from what I understand, he came here to let us know that we are all just as powerful as he is, and we have all the same abilities as he does,
Hmm.
and that's what he
Well,
came here for.
whatever reason he came here, it's been distorted. So,
Right.
yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, they create these weird agendas, and it's not. Sometimes it's not the being themselves, but they try to hook humans into different constructs where then they can further, kind of enslave them into other systems. So if someone comes and does something good, then you have to worry about the ETs, these other groups, or like the corporations, like Monarch does,
Mm-hmm.
and then they take it and then they twist it,
Yeah, it's
and
mind
then they
control.
turn it into somewhat like look how many cults are related to religion.
Right. It's mind
And
control. Definitely.
yeah, yeah, so they distort it. And it could have been like, some guy shows up and starts planting trees and feeds poor people, and then before you know it, it's a cult later on, and people
Yeah.
are drinking poison and mass suicides and stuff. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. You rope people in by the benevolent thing, or you do, or whatever, or you seem to be, and then you get them hooked, and you get a bunch of them, and then yeah, right, exactly.
Hey, yeah, oh, look at all these people. They're all, worshiping this person that was, came here and was helping them or did something good. And well, this is a good way to get control of them through fear and say that that being's not going to like them anymore unless they give, most of their property over to the government or something. They can create anything that they want, and they have. Oh, your relatives are in limbo right now, so give us some money. Like, as if money is actually a spiritual exchange for a
Yeah.
person being in a situation, you
Enter.
know? Yep.
So what else
Crazy,
we
huh?
got? What else is going on over here with me? Is there anyone trying to want to speak or uh, connect with me? And any of your guides, maybe Andronicus or Rodan? They want to give me some advice or guidance. I mean, I'd welcome it.
I'm seeing you. I don't know if this is your Agarthan aspect, but I'm seeing you making something out of wood.
Huh?
It's like you're doing some kind of carving or.
Hmm. That's kind of strange.
Not really.
Well, like I told you, it sounds like something possibly. This came up before. It's not my grandfather, my dad's father, used to be a pattern maker and work with wood.
Mm-hmm.
But that's really the only time I've ever really done any kind of woodworking or anything, or maybe shop class in school. But
Maybe that other aspect of you, the Agarthan aspect of you, likes to carve things.
hmm, that would be Merle.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what came from your guides.
That's what I just saw right now
Huh.
as a vision, and I know is Agarthan. Oh, there's a little girl. You making like a small house and giving it to some little girl.
Hmm. And a Garthen girl, or probably because that's where I
I
am.
don't know if it's like a granddaughter or someone that's.
Huh. That's something I don't have, a granddaughter. At
Yeah,
least not yet.
that's interesting because she does look like she's a child that has child of color. Is a little darker skinned than
Really?
you.
Maybe
Hmm.
it's naughty.
Maybe it's Naughty, or maybe Naughty's having a kid.
Oh, shit. Yeah. guess that's possible, but she isn't even talking to me either.
So it's kind of got a little quiet again, huh?
Yeah,
Well, you had some AI around you. I'm sure that that was a deterrent. There's someone in the group that's
right.
in the background
And affect
that's,
the group.
yeah, affecting the group. Absolutely.
Well, I put out a message on the Facebook page and told, informed the group that I was leaving the meditation after a year, and it was because of the recent inclusion of Archangel Michael in the meditation, and that was it. And I didn't get any responses on it, except uh, sounded like one person said that it was like a breach of some kind of protocol or something. And so I
A
haven't
breach of protocol for you to leave?
or no, just the post itself, because I went in the next day and it was gone. And I asked what happened to it, and somebody said, oh, it's right there. And then somebody put up something saying that it was not a breach of protocol. I forget what words it was, but it
Like,
was
in
a
other words, you were not allowed to post something like that
yeah.
in the comment section?
I guess they were
Yeah.
afraid somebody would see it and join.
Uh-huh.
But most people, think Archangel Michael is cool. So
Yep.
I mean, most people I know, and
Um, yeah, I'm kind of curious about this kid that I just saw.
huh? Yeah, me too. Can you find out?
Well, if something's happening in one area, then you know how I told you it bleeds through into this area.
Mm-hmm. But how is Trish?
I don't think she's doing very well.
Oh, really? Is she having some issues with the liver or other?
When was the last time you talked to her?
Well, it's been quite a while. I mean, I heard she had the liver cancer, and I haven't spoke to her. I think I gave her a message on Facebook, telling her I was sending her healing.
Yeah.
And that's the last time I've really been in contact. Born in our family, and I always felt close to her for that reason. In that we were born so close together. I mean, her and her sister, her mother and my mother were sisters, and they had a few others too, and they were just popping out kid after kid. It seemed like every month there'd be another one. every few months. But that year in '53, it was November Trish, and then December me. And the December before that was my brother Davey. So they were getting busy, making money for the Catholics.
They were told to have big families then.
Right.
That was what they did.
Yeah, and then they own their souls and stuff.
No, they want to have a lot of people there in their parishes.
Right, but they also are sucking all kinds of money out of our collateral accounts, they call them. They like project how much money you're going to be worth in your lifetime and everything, and then they trade it on the stock market, and they make money off us, every one of us.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the ownership papers at the Vatican, our birth certificate, baptismal certificate, and all that stuff. So back to Trish. What's because I think she's planning on coming back here soon. She comes here for the summer, I think.
They're telling me she's not doing well.
Oh, well, I've been sending her extra healing every day, so I don't know. Maybe she's ready to go. I mean,
I don't know. Maybe it's the general aging process.
Yeah. Well, I know that when I heal somebody, if they're ready to move on, I don't want to keep them here if they don't want to be here.
Yeah.
their soul. So, but she still posts on Facebook every day. She has really usually really nice posts about something beautiful, sunsets and flowers and stuff like that. So I thought she was doing okay, but is there any way to find out if she wants healing? Is she having like going back, getting the cancer back, or?
I don't know if it's just like she's aging or something's not right.
Well, can we speak to her higher self?
Yeah, let's speak to her higher self.
Okay.
Why don't you do that? Connect in with her. Tell her that you want her to be healthy and well, and you want her to be awakened and have a realization of transition or whenever she's ready.
Should I do that out loud?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I was just connecting to my higher self. I asked that my cousin Trish's higher self. I asked to connect to her higher self, and I hope you're healthy. I want you to be healthy, Trish. But I don't want to get in your way if you have other plans. I mean, that's up to you. But I've been sending you daily healing, and I'm trying to help you to stay here if you want to. She did have chemo too.
Yeah.
That isn't good.
How about this? Why don't you tell her that you are supporting whatever her soul journey has agreed upon?
Okay, I am supporting whatever your soul journey has agreed upon, Trish. Whatever that may be. I mean, I don't know, of course, but I support it. So are we getting any are we getting through to Trish? Is her higher self answering, or
What if her higher self does she have children?
yeah, grandchildren too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And she's real proud of them. Seems to have a very good relationship with her kids and grandkids.
There was something else around here that I had to clear.
Oh, what, an energy?
Mm-hmm.
A bad energy?
Yeah, just like a parasite.
Oh, okay, cool.
Not really bad, but
Well, that's a parasite is not good,
no.
because that's what we got going on with us, all of us. We had beings feeding on our energy all our lives. Didn't know it.
And it could be that's the reason why I was getting mixed communication about whether or not she wanted to leave.
Mm. And then she may have, maybe her contract is up. She knew coming into this life how long she had, and then forgot.
Well, we don't want to have anything alter that. We want it to be organic.
Right. And that's the message I sent to her. So, and you said she got it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Is there any kind of feedback on that, or? I know that's private, but.
She's better now.
Is she good?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Now, I wish she understood, what's really happening.
More peace of mind I'm feeling than it was earlier.
And from what you told me, Jess, I was the one that healed her.
She was in Italy, right? You said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't the chemo that healed her, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you told me, and I guess you got that from one of your guides or something. Or
Yep.
her higher self or whatever it was. But I mean, I wish Trish understood that. I'm not looking for accolades or congratulations. I just want her to know that that's where it came from.
Well, there's no sense in telling her that because she's not going to understand it.
Oh, I know. As long as her higher self understands that that's really
Yeah.
what it does anyway. So she does know it and does understand it. So that's cool. Yeah. It's just, when people, most of the time when I offer healing to people, they say thanks. You know, I mean, I don't know if they believe I'm really doing it, but
They have a strange reaction to that.
yeah.
When you say, hey, I want to send healing to you, and like, I don't know. Like
It's
as
like,
if it requires some kind of commitment from them, and it's not.
right. But it's like they look at you like, who do you think you are, Jesus?
Yeah, but to me, I'd be like, hey, thanks,
Right. That's the way Jessie is. When I told her I was sending her healing too. And I send it. I have a healing list and I just send it out every day. And I'm on it too. So, I don't forget.
And then yeah, I'd like to have one too. I'd like to be on that list.
Oh, you're on? Oh, okay. I'll put you on it.
Yeah, because I was, realizing that I think I was exposed to radiation. I found another spot on me
Hmm.
from the ETs.
Okay, but don't forget, you also have the ability to heal too.
Right, but it's nice when someone else helps you.
Yes, yes, definitely. But that's the thing is that we're taught that we have all this shit out there that we could get catch or be exposed to or all this dangerous stuff, and there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, you got to go to the doctor or whatever, and that's what we're taught, and people
Yep.
accept it. And I just now I don't look outside of myself for anything. I just take care of it myself.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm gonna put you on there, Jess. Yeah, right. I wish I had a bunch of people sending me some too. That would be sweet. But
It will come back to you.
well, that's
You
the thing.
know.
I'm doing it because I can, because I'm able to, and the way I look at it is, if you knew you could do something like that, like when I run into somebody has a dog with a problem, I send that dog healing right away. I saw a guy on the street the other day. A dog was having seizures or something, and because I asked about how the pet's doing, and he told me that, and I said I looked down at that dog and I sent him some healing right away. And then the next day I saw him out there. He was jumping around while the guy was standing there talking to somebody.
I think that's a good thing, Jimmy, and something to be proud that you were able to do it. And like I said, it's a really, really good karma.
There's not, it's not a problem. It's not like I'm giving anything up. It's not like it takes a lot of time or anything like that. And like I said, I'm sending it out to myself too. So you just got to do it every day, and then you'll be healthy. Just reinforce it. You know who wants to talk to me, Jess?
Who?
Jimmy.
Well, someone else wants to talk to you.
Who? My dad?
Billy Meier.
Billy Meier. Okay, what's he want?
Well, I think that he's pulled away from the whole semyase thing, and I think he wants to be liberated. I'm gonna send you the picture.
Oh, what?
I was surprised. I kind of held on to this for a couple minutes while you were talking. I'm like, yeah, let me look at this.
I don't know a lot about this guy, but I have looked into a little bit of that. He was abducted by Pleiadians or something. And he told his story.
What I think happened was he was at a mistaken identity, and they, I think he's in Garthan, and they thought he was someone else. They thought he was Jesus.
Oh, so that's why he's talking to me. He's a Garthan?
Yeah, maybe he's looking for some help and some support. I sent you a link, but I don't know if you can see it.
Well, I can't see it right now, but is he incarnated right now? Or is he passed over?
He said he's passed over.
Oh. Well, what would you like me to do, Billy? Good to meet you, by the way, or get reacquainted. I guess we know each other probably.
He said he got into a lot of trouble and got entangled with a lot of things, and now he didn't realize what he was getting involved in, and it affected his soul.
Oh.
And he needs help from you as an Agarthan.
Oh, okay.
They thought he was Jesus. I don't believe he's Jesus.
Who thought he?
Semyase and the Pleiadians.
Oh, really? Hmm.
But you remember I told you that there was something did like a switch with you and
Yeah.
kind of had you carrying their karma and all this other stuff, and maybe in some ways there was kind of like Jesus was trying to hide from Semyase and then said that was him.
Huh.
You know, or did something where they would think it was him, and he didn't really know what was going on, and all those spaceships were showing up.
Right.
Maybe, you know, Jesus didn't want to leave the planet or something, you know.
And you said that they were kind of hiding my identity too. You know, as a seraphim, they didn't, like when I asked Zora about about my soul name, he came up with that name Solar, and you didn't see that, but then that came up in our last reading. I don't know the exact context of it, but you saw where that name came from, why I was being called that.
Yeah, I forget what that was.
I got the notes, but you know, that's what I'm saying. It's like, and then also I'm a walk-in also into this body, so that's like two different souls have been in this body.
Yeah.
So I mean, isn't that a way they can hide somebody? Or
No, I mean, your walk-in or whatever, the walk-in, and then you would come in because the soul just couldn't deal with life in some way.
right,
Probably from all the trauma of your childhood.
or couldn't carry the carry out
Burden.
the mission, carry
Yeah.
out the soul mission, right?
Yeah, you understand.
And then of course I had to be in this soul had to be in this body at this time right now
Mm-hmm.
to do this work.
Yep.
So Billy, what can we do for you? What does he need, Jess?
He said he needs help out. He said what they did to him was really bad.
Where is he?
He's in between worlds or something.
Kind of like where my dad and brother were.
He said they ruined his marriage.
Hmm.
He said his family didn't want to have anything to do with him. They said he embarrassed him. He couldn't connect with people anymore. He didn't trust people. They came and talked to him, but just everyone thought he was strange. He thought it was a good thing that, you know, he was proving that there were ETs, but that it didn't turn out right for him.
That's one of the most closely guarded secrets on this planet. Wouldn't you say, Jess?
The whole ET disclosure thing?
Yeah. And what they've been doing to us.
Well, you know, they keep on denying it, and, you know, we have someone show up with 4 heads and 12 arms, and they're still going to say it's, you know, it's an optical illusion or someone was put on the...
You know, if you look into that, you can see that it's. I mean, not only me. I've seen a UFO and been abducted by one, but you know, you can find the proof. It's there. You know, there's plenty of people that have seen UFOs or ETs, been abducted by them, been experimented on, and just like you and me. Some worse. Like that Betty and what's that couple in your area that had a abduction.
Betty and Barney Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's plenty of evidence of it.
Well, I feel this overwhelming sadness coming from him. And he's connected to you, and he thinks that the reason why you've gone through a lot of heartache is because of him in a way.
Hmm.
I think they wanted to make all the Agarthans suffer for not obeying them. And then they sent the androids around you.
So we're talking about Mobius here? Or
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Hmm. Well,
Yeah. I mean, I just feel an overwhelming sadness coming from him, and he's trying to sort it out. And he said that like as if someone gave away the keys to the reality, the Agarthan reality, and it's been hijacked.
well, can Merle help with this?
It's funny that you said that because it started off that way, didn't it? And we were looking at Merle,
Yeah.
who is an aspect of you, and with a little girl, which I think is like a future grandchild.
Hmm.
Um,
And they were kind of afraid of me because of what I had around me. Remember? The
with the
Agarthans,
Agarthans.
not afraid of me, but they were like distancing themselves from me or something.
Trying to, yeah, but well, that's why they're doing this. So that it's a major attack on the Agarthans, I guess, because they maybe they thought Billy Myers tricked them, and he didn't. He kept on saying it. You know, he didn't believe it was him. Someone else tricked him.
Does Billy know what needs to be done for him that we can do to help him right now? Or maybe your guides could help?
He said he's hoping that you had some answers.
Oh, shit. I might, but this is new to me. Connection to Billy, I didn't know I had. So I just found out about it myself. And probably in my heart, the answer is it's just, I don't know how to pull it out of there.
Seen a big X.
X marks the spot. What does that mean?
I don't know if it was a warning or something.
Hmm.
All right, I just pulled him free. He asked if he can get his wife.
Is she still incarnated or?
No, I don't think so.
Oh. What, is she stuck with him?
I think she was. Well, he couldn't get her because he was stuck.
Oh.
Let's see. Edward Albert Meier. So much stuff has happened over there in Switzerland too since all this.
Is that where he's from?
And his name is his parents' name is Julius Meier.
Who's Edward Albert Meier?
That's him.
Who, Billy?
Yeah, I don't know why they're calling it. Born as Edward Albert Meier.
How does he spell Meier?
Meier.
E-R, okay.
But isn't that grocery stores like Myers?
Yeah, but it's spelled Meijer.
Yeah. Similar.
Yeah.
He was born in 1937. He claimed that he was a contact for extraterrestrial beings. And he calls the Plajarin.
What's it? 12D?
Extraterrestrials he calls the Plajarin. Meier claims to be the seventh reincarnation after 6 prophets common to Judaism, Christianity, and Islam: Enoch, Elijah, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Emmanuel, which is Jesus, and Muhammad. Yeah. He was probably all messed up from.
So did you get him out of there?
The nickname Billy came by way of American friend who thought Meier's cowboy style of dress reminded him of Billy the Kid.
Huh. So he kind of picked that up later.
Yeah.
Hmm.
He was in the French Foreign Legion. He lost his left arm in a bus accident in Turkey. That's weird.
Hmm.
He married a Greek woman. And he
Is
had
that
3 children. This is the wife that he's looking for.
uh-huh? Can we find her?
Yeah, where does it say
Yeah.
his spouse? His wife, ex-wife. 97. Did he get, see? And she might have, Semyase might have caused the divorce.
Oh, because she wanted it. That's
In 1997, Meier's ex-wife, Calliope, told interviewers that his photos were spaceship models he crafted with items like trash can lids and carpet tacks and other household objects, and that the stories he told of the adventures of the aliens were similarly fictitious. She also said that the photos of the purported extraterrestrial woman, Asket and Nera, were really photos of Michelle Delafave and Susan Lund, members of the singing and dancing troupe of the Gold Diggers. It was later confirmed that the woman in the photographs were members of the Gold Diggers performing in the Dean Martin show.
Hmm.
But that Asket had like weird ears. Like the ears were connected to her head in a weird way.
Is this now? This is the wife that he's looking for,
Yeah,
and she lied on him like that.
she was probably, I think that they caused problems with her.
Oh, Semyase maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we need him to cut all ties, vows, contracts, agreements to Semyase. That might help him, right?
Yep.
You hear that, Billy?
He said he wanted his life back. He wanted his wife to understand him, and it wasn't his fault.
He wants his wife.
Yeah, life and wife. Apparently, they mesmerized him, and they came in probably looking all glamorous and everything, and it just, and plus the fascination of this spacecraft. And I'll tell you one thing right now, and you look at these pictures, and it hardly looks like anything made out of a trash can.
Okay, and the 12, was it the 12 D Pleiadians that were involved in that too?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, he needs to cut ties to them too. And I'll do anything I can for him, Jess. I mean, if anything we can do, I'd be happy to help him.
It's like the wife got deeply affected by everything, and almost as if this Semyase was saying that she was in love with him and wanted to be with him, so it was like him having an extramarital affair, in her opinion.
Mm-hmm. But it was much deeper than that.
She didn't understand what was going on.
Right, he didn't either, though.
No.
So did you say you pulled him out of this in-between world he was in or something?
Not quite yet. He's trying to convince his ex-wife.
Oh.
Yeah, see, I didn't even know that in the story, that they were separated, and they told me that when I saw ex-wife. I'm like, there it is.
Uh-huh.
Because that's what Semyase does, is she destroys relationships with people. Shows up trying to make herself look better, even though that's not even what she looks like.
Is she around me?
No, I don't see her around you now.
Okay, good. Because she probably has been in the past.
Yeah.
You made sure I'm going to be alone.
Well, if she knew that you were helping Billy Myers, she probably wouldn't want that. She probably wants him to be there waiting for her for whatever else she needs.
I don't think she likes me either.
Probably not. I don't think they like any of the Agarthans. He's trying to connect to his family so that they don't get lost. The process he's bringing his wife through. He's apologizing. He's very sad.
To his wife?
Yeah.
Oh.
She just thought it was like a curse. You know?
No, it was. Curse of Semyase.
Yeah. So that's why she kind of undermined it.
Look what you did to Peter.
Yeah.
Probably many others, too.
See, and here it says Billy Meier's wife admits it was a hoax. But see, you know, yeah, if she ends the relationship, it ends up really bad in the end. And these people saying, oh, she admitted that it was lying. Well, why don't you take into the whole idea that someone's coming in and causing problems in your marriage? You're probably going to say a lot of things that you wouldn't say naturally. It's not necessarily the truth.
And it worked. You know, what she tried to do worked for her.
Yeah. I don't think so. Some people, I'm looking at, some people thought she was in a smear campaign. I don't know why. If I read this story, I don't remember it, this part of it. You know, you focus more on his ships and what Semyase said, but not so much when you think about it. The wife had to have suffered quite a bit.
Yes. But that was the whole idea.
Mm-hmm.
Make them both suffer.
Yep.
Damn. You gotta get that shit away from us, man. I mean, how much longer do we have to deal with this dumb shit?
I know. Yeah, and I mean he wasn't really young either. I mean it's just like, you know, completely caused that problem.
And he wasn't really Jesus?
I don't believe it was Jesus, no.
What was he an angel or something? Or
He was an Agarthan.
oh, an Agarthan, right. Okay.
Here's the MUFON report.
On the Meier case, you mean?
Yeah. They said that the Plagiaran looks similar in appearance to humans from Northern Europe.
Isn't that Pleiadian? Plagiaran?
Yeah.
Another way of saying it.
In the homeworld called Era, it's really Aaron.
That's
Aaron. Yeah, they called it Era here, but it's really Aaron. But that's where you get the word Aryan.
Oh,
so
right.
The Pleiadians, or it's connected more to the Lyrans, were the true Aryans. And that's the part that no one understands.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make them evil being an Aryan, it just was their genetics.
Right.
Genetics were very, very light, or if they had certain abilities. Some of the attributes of their abilities, some of the attributes of their appearance is very light eyes. And I was told that I had some of that genetic, maybe as my walk-in or something, because I don't think the rest of the family has it. And they had targeted me in particular over this.
Mm-hmm. I think I have some too.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a connection to the Lyran culture or whatever. And so they called it Era, and I believe it's Aaron.
Those were supposedly the first humans, I think, Lyria.
One of the early ones were by Vega, yeah.
Lyran?
Mm-hmm. Well, the Pleiadians were not, they're not the oldest society. They kind of came later. There's much older societies than them.
I heard that, I think I read somewhere that they came from Lyra when the reptilians attacked one of their planets and destroyed it. And these are the ones that got away, and they went to the Pleiades.
They were they were like grasshoppers, locusts. huge locust, like 6 foot tall locust, came in, and that interview that I did with Audrey Ewis, he said that that's what it was.
Oh,
6 foot tall locusts came in and they starved them. They were on a ship and they just let them loose on the planet and literally were eating people right in front of them, you know.
What's happening with Mr. Meier?
I'm looking at some of the stuff. He said that she's there with him.
Oh.
He's trying to calm her down. She's very upset.
She needs to clear that shit from her aura or her field.
So he was first contacted at the age of 5 with an elderly extraterrestrial man by the name of Sfath.
Huh.
S-F-A-T-H. Sounds like a little bit like faith, doesn't it, Sfath?
Yeah.
And then he, in 1964, contacts continue with extraterrestrial woman called Asket, who is not a Plajaran. And then an extraterrestrial woman named Semyase, the granddaughter of Sfath. And many contacts with another Plajaran man called Ptah. And according to the Lyrans, Ptah was over the Pleiadians. All the Pleiadians, and Ptah is also a name that comes out of ancient Egypt.
Is that related to King Plachacha?
Who knows? I mean,
you know who that is?
Yeah, I heard them talk about that, and I don't know.
He's supposedly the king of the Pleiadians.
Well, technically, it's Ptah.
Oh, well, that's what I mean. They're
Yeah, it could be another name for him.
Maybe it's just like his nickname or something.
Yeah, because they have it as Ptaah.
Huh.
And technically, that's another name used in Egypt, which I would assume would be the same one.
I think I've heard somebody say there's been like 3 or 4 different like Plachacha, whatever. I thought that name sounded kind of funny, but strange,
It's spelled slightly different. So Egyptian mythology, Ptah is probably vocalized as P-I-T-A-H in ancient Egyptian, is the demiurge of Memphis, god of craftsmen and architects. Demiurge.
That sounds nasty.
And that's what it says. In the triad of Memphis, he is the husband of Sekhmet and the father of Nefertim.
Sekhmet, that's the
cat being, the feline being.
All
right, let's look up demiurge.
The demiurge is from the old Gnostic text.
It just means like a heavenly being subordinate to the supreme being that is considered to be the controller of the material world and antagonistic to all that is purely spiritual. So things are it's more of connected to the earthly things or material things as opposed and an antagonist to all that is purely spiritual.
Does it describe it as an octopus-like being?
No.
Because that's what's supposedly in the Gnostic text about this demiurge that has an energetic field around our planet, and I don't know how far out it goes, but it's huge, I guess, and it was controlling a lot of our consciousness spiritually, plasma or some other field.
Yeah, I've seen some of those octopuses. They are nasty. They're on the outside of our field, but I'm not sure if that's. I suppose it's different people's different interpretations of what things are, but this I don't think Ptah is an octopus.
Okay, but this being was, I guess, being dismantled and stuff over the past few years and sent back to the central sun or whatever. I don't know if that's actually happening, but and, you know, it was a physical being, I guess, that turned evil, turned dark.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's quite a few beings like that over
That's
time.
that's what they call the demiurge in the Gnostic text.
Okay.
So, and they don't say it like there's more than one. It's like the demiurge. So, when you said that word, it kind of reminded me of that.
He's calling himself a god, this Ptah. He was into craftsman, pottery, creating things. Egyptians believe that he was a god who created everything from artifacts to the world egg to the other deities themselves. He was the god of creation and rebirth. That's what their belief was. Yeah, they had many gods, so, you know, that was an interesting. And they show him as this green-skinned being. Kind of holding a striped staff. And has a blue, kind of blue hat and an X. Oh my God, there's an X on his shirt.
And yeah,
Didn't I just say X? I saw an X.
Yeah.
Wow, that's weird.
That must be why it came up, though.
It was probably his presence because I was looking at stuff related to him. And in some cases, you see Ptah with a blue X and another time a red X. And sometimes he looks yellow in his skin and his hat is red. And then hat is green. And then sometimes his face is green and skin, you know, like his arms and everything are green. And then his hat is blue.
So why did he come up? You know, what's the significance of him popping up on us like that?
Because we're looking at Pleiadian stuff, or Plagiaran stuff, if you want to call it that, and Ptah is involved. And then Ptah is also, I believe he's the same one from Egypt. That's my opinion. And that X is only further confirming what I was looking at here. And it's because Billy Meier wants to be free of them and wants his wife back.
Yeah.
And doesn't want to be, you know, it's not his fault. He was kind of hooked into this game and used as a pawn. But I think it's because Jesus didn't want to show up and get involved, if you ask me.
Well, can Jesus or can Sananda? I don't like to use that name, Jesus, but.
Well, I'm not even going to do anything with Jesus. He can sort that out with them. But Billy Meier doesn't belong to them, and they need to back off and let him go.
Well, have you ever connected with Sananda?
Yeah, I have.
Is that a benevolent, positive energy to you?
It seems okay. I'm not really sure. I get reluctant because of some of those. There was one time I saw a ship that just looked artificial, like everything. There was even like, you know, Android 12 Apostles or something on one of these ships, and I was like, I don't even know what this is. So if there's a regular Sananda, there's also a fake Sananda, and I know I've seen that one for sure. Well,
a lot of times when Sananda gets or Jesus gets channeled, the Ashtar comes up too. So maybe that has some kind of connection with the ship and the Android 12 Apostles, or.
No, that wasn't Ashtar. It was something else, like they were trying to bring in, and it was probably a corporation or someone kind of nasty trying to bring in something and roll out like this artificial Jesus, like false Christ arrival, but they're actually androids, and you couldn't kill them. So it would have been like, you know, yeah, they're there, and they're preaching or they're saying whatever they're saying, and if there was an attempt on their life, they wouldn't die. So that would further the miracle of their existence.
Ah.
Something like that. I mean, I saw Andronicus actually brought me on the ship and showed me. He says, "Look what they're bringing here," and I'm like, "Wow."
Yeah, but who
That's
was
not good.
who was behind that though? What's the
I
force?
never quite found out, but I mean, I guess androids. Who would be the primary suspect in that one?
Ah, good old Mobius and Monarch and
Right.
what is that? Life.
This is why I'm having a hard time looking at this stuff, because I'm seeing the fake ones, and I'm not saying that the real one doesn't exist, but maybe the real one, the using a real Jesus to roll out someone else's agenda. I don't think if a real Jesus would go along with
Well,
deceiving people in any way.
how can you tell a real one from a fake one?
A real one's not going to want to take advantage of the people.
Right. I mean, not if they're good being, like
Right.
like we were talking about earlier with that being. I mean, everyone is under the impression, or most people, that he's benevolent and he's fighting for us and he's a warrior and he's a protector and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they believe.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't blame people. It's people don't know all the little games that they can play. That's the problem.
You said you didn't know where the real one even was.
I have some suspicions, but I mean, believe me, if he wanted to come out already, he would have.
Maybe they got the real one.
Even if he did, he's going to be manipulated. There's so much darkness here that, I mean, you'll have people trying to get him to be on their TV show, or, create some kind of facade over it. It would be a disaster.
Yeah, maybe they got the real one holed up somewhere and they're using all these fake ones to push their agenda.
No, I don't know. They're going to do it anyhow. I mean, whether it's one religion or another, religions are a convenient way to manipulate people, because it affects their belief system.
Right, it's mind control.
And well, I mean, they find their weakness. So if they find their weakness in their belief system, and then they can manipulate it, like, well, if you were really want to do the right thing, then you should do this, and then they actually can change the writings, which they did with the Bible, the New Testament in particular, to conform to political things that they wanted the masses to conform to, and create different types of fears and beliefs. And
look outside yourself for answers, because you don't have it inside, it's outside you.
Oh, well, to have to go in and do a confessional to a man that probably has done worse stuff than you ever did.
Right.
That's not right either. But, we're finding that that's why they're getting exposed, because of, things that they're doing. And, there's nothing new under the sun. All this stuff has been going on for many, many, many years. It's just that the veils are coming off, and people are choosing to wake up and look at stuff and not give a pass to those that are wearing certain clothing or garments or robes or whatever, or having some type of title. I think people are starting to see that there is nothing that's so sacred that we can't look at it.
And obviously it's worked, because look at how long it's been in force. Like you said, many, many, many years, probably more than thousands.
Yeah, we don't even want to know, how many. Well, think about a lot of it's not hidden. I mean, it's right in our face. All the Crusades, the Inquisition, all the innocent people that died from, just because,
The way they went after the Cathars in Europe and wiped them out in France.
There was a lot of any group that didn't go along, and there were like breakaway groups. Small religions, even like the Quakers, who were supposed to be peace-loving, they ran away, came over here to the United States. The United States was built on a lot of political dissidents. That's why, I think we sort of have that energy about us, is that, hey, freedom is supposed to be high in the chart, although mind control has stripped away a lot of that. And of course, floods of other immigrants who only knew servitude and oppression, and they're in fear. They brought over their fear.
Well, teaching us that we're free when we're really not is, exactly what mind control is and what it's for.
Right.
They tell us we're free when we're really not and never have been.
No, I mean, we were, fighting the Tea Party, the taxes, and then Massachusetts ends up being the highest, one of the highest, if not the highest, taxed taxes their citizens higher than any other state in the U.S. So it's like, oh, you want to play that game? We're really going to make you suffer. One way or another, we're going to, turn everything against you. And so you have to step back and look at it. And it's the same energy with different faces and different bodies, but it's the same energy that's been doing it all along. So it's the great deception.
Right. And it's work. But like you said, the veils are coming down, and there's more and more people waking up to what's actually taking place and not the bullshit we've been taught.
Well, when you get to a point where you can't look at someone because they have some kind of veil of elite religiosity or some kind of special godhood or whatever, and then people will like, oh, I'm sure that they would never do anything like that. As soon as you get to that point, there's a problem.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of them out there.
Well, that's how people get hooked into cults and, just start drinking the Kool-Aid and all that stuff. I mean, those are people, the mainstream people look at them and they say, oh, those people are crazy, but they don't look that they're doing something quite similar, but in a different way. They're drinking the Kool-Aid of whatever the society is dictating to them. And they're afraid to step out and be any different from their neighbors or what's going on. And, they have to watch all the same shows and, to be able to fit in. And it's a type of peer pressure and mind control all worked in together. But I mean, they critique people that, go soul searching and go looking for something outside of the system, but they're not any different. Because the illusion is around all of us, and as soon as you think that you're far above it, then you're. I mean, it's in every facet, and even in the disclosure area, you see people that are saying that they have all the answers and they're going to give the real news and everything, and then you find out later that, well, they were hooked into a group that, or the CIA or somebody that's trying to give a kind of integrate into these communities. And maybe it's not the CIA, maybe it's an ET group or something, but still trying to hook people into another paradigm of obedience.
Well, the CIA is run by the Nazis, so.
Right.
And was set up by Nazis. So, they're the ones that they have been running this Monarch and Mobius and all these deep, dark, black programs, they call them. Project, whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're behind. They're in on it. So what's going on with Billy? Is he in a better place? Is he okay? Is him and his wife talking or?
Yeah. I was just looking here that there was a guy, Meier sent Marcel Vogel, a chemist working at IBM. And here's that IBM again, which seems to show up throughout, time travelers. The crystal and metal samples that Myers claims to have received from the Plagiarin. And when they examined it with a scanning electron microscope and reported when they touched the oxide with a stainless steel probe, the red streaks appeared and the oxide coating disappeared. And he said he just touched the metal like that and it started to deoxidize and became a pure metal, and said he'd never seen a phenomenon like that before, showing that the metal sample that Billy Meier had was contained nearly every element in the periodic table, stating each pure element was bonded to each of the others, yet somehow retained its own identity at 2,500 magnification. Vogel claims the sample was metal, but at the same time it is a crystal. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a garbage can top to me.
No, it doesn't. So, I mean, I believe it happened.
Right.
I believe that he was used, though, and that he needed help, and I think he needed some validation of, we always, we talk about Samyasa because of the bad things that have happened because of whatever, I can't say she because we don't know what Samyasa is.
Right. Supposedly it's the father of Jesus.
Right.
So
Well, not like Joseph, but like, yeah, something like that.
The biological. Supposedly.
Yeah, which makes it even weirder, doesn't it?
She can shapeshift into whatever she wants to be.
Yeah.
But is there anything else he needs me to do or us to do?
His wife was mind controlled in a contrary way to get her away from him so that they could manipulate and do whatever they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so I see that she was also mind controlled. So what I would, so this is from MUFON.com/Billy Meier, 1964 to present. All right, so let me see what his wife heard what I just read. He wanted me to read that there was some scientific proof behind it. He wanted her to hear what I had to say.
Did she understand?
He's trying to tell her that they can go to Agartha, and she doesn't really care where he takes her. I think she just wants to be with him.
Will they accept her in Agartha? Because they didn't want to let George Carlin in there.
I think they're gonna accept her.
Okay. Wow, cool.
I see a spacecraft.
Where is it?
Around him.
Oh.
He said thank you.
You're welcome, Billy.
And he's looking forward to seeing you.
All right.
Future.
Me too.
He said he'll fix up your house so when you get there it'll be ready for you.
Well, Merle's there right now, right?
Merle's there in time-space, so I'm not really sure if he's there exactly at this point, if you're here.
Or is he here with me? Or what?
He's here with you, but he's there in an earlier time period, I think.
Oh, okay.
So maybe, yeah, it's an earlier time where your granddaughter shows up.
So that might be a different time frame.
Yeah.
Not this time.
Definitely. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that sounds good to me, Billy.
He said he left you a coping device. What does that mean? What's a coping device?
Ooh. Whatever, I can use whatever help I can get, that's for sure.
Stress and coping device mechanisms. Constant changing cognitive and behavioral efforts to manage specific external and internal demands that are appraised as taxing.
We could probably all use one of them.
Yeah.
Send her one. Send Jess one too, Billy, 'cause she helped you too.
I don't know if it's actually an object. It's kind of a strategy.
Hmm.
Identifies 4 types of coping strategies: appraisal focused, adaptive, cognitive, directed towards challenging personal assumptions, problem focused, adaptive behavioral, reducing of eliminating stressors, emotional focus, changing personal emotional reactions. It's the coping device.
Well, it
Coping mechanism.
sounds useful, Billy. Thank you.
Maybe it's to help you to deal with things in a different way
Huh.
than you've dealt with them before. Kind of something to reduce stress in a natural way, maybe, and
Raise consciousness.
yeah, changing personal emotional reactions. Interesting. He's going to be assisting you in restoring some of the things that were connective communicators between you and the Agarthans, but had to be blocked off because of the Linus Corp. It's the Linus Corp.
Huh.
That might have something to do with Michael.
Hope they're not talking about my football team.
Linus mining company in Australia. Oh. Well, I think maybe it's some kind of Linus, or there's, I don't know, maybe he's talking about the Lyran, Linus. I don't know. Either way, he kind of wanted you were protecting yourself.
I'm just glad I could help him out of his mess he was in. And I mean, going to Agartha, that's got to be better than where he was.
Mm-hmm.
You've been trying to get in there? But he wanted to get his wife first?
He needed help getting in there as well as accessing his wife. I'm seeing some kind of silver. Wow, this is really cool. It's like a white silver color. Something's opening up.
So I gave him my blessing and they let him in?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
That was very cool. I wish you could have seen that silver. It was like all within a tunnel.
Maybe that's Agartha.
Or it was the original access back into Agartha.
Mount Telos?
I don't know where it's at, but what it looked like.
I'm pretty sure that's where it is, Jess. Mount Telos.
Yeah, but I think they can go through Agartha in the North Pole, and that's blocked now. I guess the Fifth Reich are there.
Oh. Right. Yeah, there's probably more access points than that, but I think that's one of their main ones where they're actually located.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So is him and his wife there now? Did they let him in?
They let them in.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah, I guess that their children and other relatives will probably be, going there as in time. Something's going to happen in Switzerland.
That's where he's from, isn't it?
Yep. They were using some of his portals, shutting the portals down. Okay. It's not going to close all the portals there by CERN in that area, but it just closed a very important one that was used by them.
Huh.
And probably how the Plagiarians found him in the first place. Interesting.
Hmm. I'm gonna have to look more into his story now that I had this encounter with him.
Yeah, I mean, I think he had opinions about himself and his life based on what they told him, but not necessarily what was the truth. And he, of course, he went along with it, but sacrificed a lot as a result.
Well, he's good now.
Yep.
And his wife is got over her problem that she was having.
Yeah, she's totally understanding now because she was totally manipulated.
Mm-hmm.
And probably, was bitter that it was like he was having an affair with someone or having a fascination with these other women that were clearly much younger than her.
And they used her
if they're women.
They used her to cover up his story.
Yeah, well, if he didn't play ball and do exactly what they wanted him to do, then to add insult to injury, it's bad enough that they ruined his life, told him, some falsehoods, and they can do that. They can create this whole reality where you look like you're the crazy one.
Right, and the world wasn't ready for this disclosure yet, so.
No, they don't care who suffers in the process. They really don't.
But they really are strongly against the population finding out that there's anything else out there that's had anything to do with us.
Well, that's the government and all that. But
well, not really the government, the ones above the government.
The dark.
Yeah, the Jesuits.
The hidden
mm-hmm.
government. But the regular government doesn't want to see any news or anything related to that.
Oh yeah, they're the front men for that. But I'm saying there's forces behind them that are, that put them in place to do exactly that.
Well, when Orson Welles came out with War of the Worlds, and they were all up in arms, like, oh my God, everyone's horrified. Look at, you said this over the radio. Well, it just turned out that he was a little bit early in history for that message.
Yeah.
Because technically it happened in California.
And Billy
just was recently.
Billy was too. I think it's just too early to bring that out, and they weren't going to let it come out anyway. So they had to find some way to stop it, and that's how they did it.
Yeah. So there it is.
That is cool.
There it is.
Oh, what about
that should
brother?
Help you. That should definitely help you.
Yeah, I know. That's cool. And then he says he wants to keep helping me and help protect me and stuff like that, and I appreciate that.
Well, it's amazing how many people are Agarthans that we didn't know about.
And thank you so much for helping Billy and his wife and the Agarthans and just all the great work you helped me out with. Yes, I so appreciate that.
You're welcome. All right.
I see ya.
All right, bye.
Bye.